Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears up to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And I got a story for you that's very unfortunate. It took place a week ago, Saturday, the day after the horrific tornadoes that dropped down in St. Louis City. The very next day, right across the river, the police and an individual got into a terrible shootout based on a domestic violence issue. And as many people should know, if you have friends that are police officers, the worst call that they want to go and retrieve and go try to dissipate a situation is a domestic violence situation. Many of our officers do not know how that's going to turn out and what they are walking into, whether it's someone holding someone hostage, kidnapping, threatening to kill everybody in the house, etc., let alone even shooting at the police, an ambush. And this one was an ambush. And the sad story and commentary behind this particular story is that the alleged shooter that shot 3 police officers was only 21 years old. 21. So this story has to do with youth, this pernicious nature of violence, and living only for today, very little guidance of our young people, and many of them are headed in the wrong direction. And this particular gentleman, his name was Elijah Thompson, 22 years old, just at the very beginning of his life. As we should know, scientists and physicians, doctors say for the average male, the brain is not even fully developed by the time they're at the age of 22. However, these young folks are making some very adult, poor decisions, which generally lead to 2 places: prison or death. Let's get into the story on how this young man made such a poor decision, and the anger and vitriol that either he has for society or where his life is. There are many people, young folks today, that have no direction and don't look for the future. So here we go. Man charged in shooting 3 police officers in southern Illinois. It actually happened in Fairview Heights, which is right across the river from St. Louis, Missouri, which is where I'm giving you this video from. So it's almost like a suburb, but it's going east. So technically this is southern Illinois, but it's only 20 minutes from St. Louis in Fairview Heights, Illinois. A man has been charged in a shooting of 3 police officers in southern Illinois near St. Louis. The shooting happened around 9:44 p.m. last Saturday on Potomac Drive in Fairview Heights, Illinois. Officials said police officers responded to a call about a suspicious person, and the incident turned violent. So they got a call for a domestic violence scenario, and when the police showed up, all hell broke loose. Police identified the suspect as 22-year-old Elijah Thompson of Belleville, Illinois. He was taken into custody uninjured, and a gun was recovered. But you got to listen to this story and listen to what happened to these 3 officers that he allegedly shot. 3 officers were shot during the incident. Officer Miley Munich was shot in the face. That is a female officer, and underwent surgery. Police said she remains in critical but stable condition. Another officer, Herminio Rayamundi, was shot in the arm and has been released from the hospital. And then there was a third individual that was shot. They also said that Elijah Thompson was charged with 4 counts of attempted murder, 3 counts of aggravated battery, and 1 count of resisting arrest. Evil comes in many forms, and our officers confronted it head on. Our mission remains the same: to protect with vigilance and serve with honor, said Fairview Heights Police Chief Steve Johnson. Said that 2 additional officers were hurt in a scuffle while arresting the suspect, and that Thompson is being held in the St. Clair County Jail. Fairview Heights Police continue to investigate. But the third officer, so you have the first officer, Molly Munich, who was shot in the face. Then you had the second officer, Herminio Rayamundi, who was shot in the arm. And then the third officer was Andre Ward, who was shot in the chest. But his vest stopped the bullet. He was treated and released. Wow, what a story! First of all, what kind of gun did this gentleman have to where he was able to get off all of these shots and contact these 3 particular police officers? And what does this say about our society at large? Over the last several years, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, the last thing you thought about is having an altercation with a police officer, let alone shooting them. Now that barrier has been broken, and you're seeing in many of our major cities. In Chicago, there have been several officers that have been killed in the line of duty, even within the last 6 months to a year. Philadelphia, and many of our major urban cities. And to see where this brashness and this negativity, this inhumanity that we're seeing in our young folks today, it has everything to do with mental health issues, PTSD on how they were raised. Many of these young people of color live in what I would consider to be a war zone. We're talking about fatherless homes. We're talking about inept inner city public schools, no mentorship. These kids are raising themselves almost like the children of the corn. And at some point, we as a society have to take a look at what we have created. Many of the parents of these young people have failed them in all areas of the essence of life. Many of our teachers and our public school systems and our administrators have failed these children. You have kids in St. Louis and some of these urban public schools that are in a 9th grade reading on a 4th grade level. You have many of these urban schools that have more substitute teachers than full-time teachers. The pay for our teachers is horrible. We have to change this entire chasm on what we feel in society is important. Our children are our future. And just when you think that this cannot happen to you, that same young man, Elijah Thompson, he could have turned that gun on some innocent individual, whether it's carjacking, whether it's road rage, the level of anger and vitriol that this young man must have had. It needed to be diagnosed and needed to be detained immediately. And it's unfortunate that these 3 police officers got shot because, and they're alive, which is a wonderful scenario. But this story gives you a telltale sign that this young man and many of our young people, this young man is an indicator, and this is the precipice of many of our young people, and definitely our young males of color, that are headed down the wrong direction for sure. Either they're going to commit a crime, a heinous crime, or a heinous crime will end up being committed against them. It is so sad that this gentleman reacted in this way. And if you don't have the proper development, starting in your home, leading into your schools, to not understand how to deal with conflict resolution, disagreements, if your answer to every disagreement is to commit violence, you're headed down the wrong road. We have to have better mentorship programs. Many of our older folks need to reach back and teach back to many of these young kids, young men. Here again, fatherless homes, uncle-less homes, grandfatherless homes have been a major contributor and factor to these young people making poor decisions. How do you develop a boy to become a man? It takes a man to be able to do that, to teach this young man. It also takes a woman, just like it takes a woman to teach a girl to become a woman. It's very, very clear. It's just a sad scenario to see that the way our young people are reacting to certain situations, and there's way too many guns on the street, and to be in a rush to commit gun violence as the ultimate resolution. Actually, it is the ultimate dissolution of our humanity as a society. There are way too many people doing this, and today is Memorial Day, which again is a holiday, and it is sad and unfortunate that there's always an uptick in gun violence, whether it's Chicago again. Evidently 11 people got shot in South Carolina yesterday, and we have to figure out what direction are we headed. And if you take a blind eye to it, crime, assaults, gun violence is not wrapped around just proximity, zip codes, gender, race. It can come to anyone's doorstep at any time. So this is unfortunate. Thank God that the 3 officers did not succumb to their injuries. Defunding the police is not the answer. We need more great police officers. There's a lot going on in society. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of undiagnosed mental health issues, the opioid crisis, fatherless homes. We need to take our cities back, along with public safety and law enforcement, and we have to make these young people accountable. By the time a kid is 6 years old, if you have not taught him the rights and wrongs of society, by the time they're 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, it is almost too late. So we need to do a refabrication of a healthy, moral, and ethical society. And this is just another shocking scenario of a young man destroying his life. He's got 4 counts of attempted murder now, and prison is now going to be his new college. Tell me what you think.